Hey, the following videos are taken from my channel, Who is Who in Hoaxology. Now I'm trying to capture my entire channel on a series of videos. So I invite you to watch a portion of my channel, Who is Who in Hoaxology. The voice that you hear in the videos is my voice. The videos have been speeded up, so my voice may sound a little different to you. So let's start with this one. Who was Vice President Agnew? And I don't mean to aggravate you. Aggravate you. Aggravate you. Anyhow, let's find out who the actor was.
The equivalent of a plea of guilty for the purpose of that negotiated proceeding in law. It does not represent a confession of any guilt whatever for any other purpose. I made the plea because it was the only way to quickly resolve the situation. In this technological age, image becomes dominant.
If you're in doubt,
There he is.
about angels being,
There he is.
Appearance supersedes reality. An appearance of wrongdoing, whether true or false, in fact, is damaging to any man. But more important, it is fatal to a man who must be ready at any moment to step into the presidency. The American people deserve to have a vice president who commands their unimpaired confidence and implicit trust. For more than 2 months now, you have not had such a vice president.
I can arrange to change any doubts you feel. Baby, see.
Professor Lawrence on Gidget, Don Porter. Don Porter.
Had I remained in office and fought to vindicate myself through the courts and the Congress, it would have meant subjecting the country to a further agonizing period of months without an unclouded successor for the president.
Agonizing.
I could not do, despite my tormented verbal assertion.
Tormented.
To put his country through the ordeal of division and uncertainty that entailed would be a selfish and unpatriotic action for any man in the best of times. But at this especially critical time, with a dangerous war raging in the Mideast, and with the nation still torn by the wrenching experiences of the past year, it would have been intolerable. So I chose instead not to contest formally the accusations against me.
Okay, we'll go to Wikipedia. Spiro Agnew. Gotcha, Spiro. I speared you, Spiro. I'm not going to spare you, Spiro. Okay, basically look at his date of birth and date of death. November 1919 and died 1996. Okay, there's the date of death and date of birth of Spiro Agnew. Now we're going to jump to Don Porter, actor. Date of birth, very similar. Not exact, but very similar. Look, date of death, very close, very similar. So I know you want to pick Triiv, you'll get it. Don't worry, you'll get it. Okay, you have Vice President Spiro Agnew on the left, actor Don Porter on the right. 84%. To me, that's good enough. but I'll give you a lesser comparison. Notice this picture will be the same on the left, but there'll be a new one of Don Porter on the right. 70%. That's good enough for me. So, the one who played Professor Lawrence, actor Don Porter, in Gidget, and other movies too, by the way, plays Spiro Agnew. And I'm going to make a video to let you know how I discovered this. I tried to make a video about how I discover things so that you can discover them too. Alright? And you can employ some of the same techniques and things that I do. So I'd like to thank you for watching this video. End of video. Hey, this new channel is called Village Prisoner Set Free. And it's based on the series called The Prisoner, starring Patrick McGowan. And it was shown primarily in Great Britain from 1967 to 1968. Other countries also had the privilege of watching The Prisoner. Now there's only 17 episodes, but I'm convinced that this is one of the best television series to help us understand the hoax-lie system and also the projection of the power of technology. So I would invite you to join me on this new channel and let us go to the village together, whereby we can, in a sense, be the prisoner, but you'll have the good news: the prisoner has been set free. And you can learn how to be set free by watching the videos on this channel. Now I'd like to remind you that I operate other channels as well, and I'm going to show you those other channels.
You gotta try that with the butter, I won't tell.
So where did they find Dr. Mobley?
Everyone in Fortune knows him.
He's got a good reputation.
What do you think? Yeah. The guy was on the cover of Time magazine when he was like 22 years old. It's brilliant.
What was he on the cover of Time magazine for?
He was the first mental skills coach hired full-time by a big league club at like 21. He was a prodigy. He was like the Bobby Fischer of sports psychology.
Who's Bobby Fischer?
Well, I had to see it to believe. Explain. You're about to lock off the captain's professional head, and you're sitting here playing chess with a computer.
That is true.
Mr. Spock, you're the most cold-blooded man I've ever known. Why, thank you, Doctor. I've just won my fourth game. That's impossible. Observe for yourself. Rook the king's pawn forward.
Bishop, half level right.
Now, this is the computer's move. And now mine. Checkmate. Mechanically, the computer is flawless. Therefore, logically, its report of the captain's guilt is infallible. I could not accept that, however. So you tested the programming? Exactly. I programmed it myself for chess some months ago. The best I should have been able to obtain was a draw. But why are you just sitting there? Transport room standby, we're getting down.
Okay, they have to rescue the captain because somehow the computer was tampered with. And Spock, Leonard Nimoy, proved that the computer had been tampered with because he beat the computer. The computer is flawless, but he beat it. So there's a hint, 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 hint. Now let's go to just a little simple picture comparison. Okay, on the left is Bobby Fischer. And on the right is Leonard Nimoy. Now I like these two photos particularly because of the smile. If you zero in on the smile, you'll see that essentially the smile is almost completely identical. Let me see what I can do with that. Incidentally, look at the hairline. Bobby Fischer. The hair on both of them is pretty similar. And now Leonard Nimoy. Now Leonard Nimoy is usually looking a little more like Spock when they show him in public and do things in public because everybody wanted Spock. The world went Spock crazy when Leonard Nimoy premiered on Star Trek as Spock. And that would be about 1966. But But Leonard Nimoy will tell you that he was basically acting, I think, around 1948. So he just landed his big role with Star Trek. But he had done numerous television shows, not necessarily as a star on those television shows, but kind of unimportant individuals on different television shows like Rawhide and other shows in the early 60s. So there's Bobby Fischer, okay? Bobby Fischer. And there's Leonard Nimoy. And basically Bobby Fischer is Leonard Nimoy. And they changed the appearance a little bit with prosthetics and different things. But the world has been fooled on everything. There was no big chess tournament in 1972 with Bobby Fischer defeating Boris Spassky. It was nonsense. Okay, let me stop my other video and interject some comments. My analysis of Bobby Fischer as being played by Leonard Nimoy has caused considerable commotion in the world of chess lovers. For some reason, this bothers them incredibly. And I'm not saying that they sent me hate mail. They didn't. They just basically said, you're crazy or whatever. This couldn't possibly be. And then a lot of them would say, you don't know anything about chess. Well, what's that have to do with it? If the guy's a fake, he's a fake. Doesn't matter how much I know about chess or don't know. I mean, I played chess, and I'm not saying I'm an expert at it or anything like that, but I played the game, and I understand the basics of it and so forth. And I know it's a contemplative game. It requires good thinking and fast thinking if you use the timer when you're playing a game of chess. But for some reason, this video has really rubbed our chess people very, very hard. So I'm not going to say I received a lot of hate mail, but I did receive quite a bit of flack about this video, as opposed to any videos that I've made. And that really surprised me, that video about Bobby Fischer actually being Leonard Nimoy. And I also believe I did another video where I showed it's possible that he actually plays both parts. He also plays Boris Spassky, which is not an impossible thing in this crazy hoax-lie system, because very often the good guy will actually play the bad guy. For example, Abraham Lincoln, who's head of the North, will play Jefferson Davis. And Jefferson Davis, who's supposedly the president of the South, will play Abraham Lincoln. They're both the same dude. They're both played by the same actor. So it's not impossible to think that Leonard Nimoy also played Boris Spassky as well as playing Bobby Fischer. Well, anyhow, I just love this one because I got so much response out of it. But let's go back to this video. And this video is from the movie called The Phenom. It's about a baseball pitcher, Gibson. He's got the number 9 on his back, which could be a number 6.
Right.
What was he on cover Time magazine for?
He was the first mental skills coach hired full-time by a big league club at like 21. He was a prodigy. He was like the Bobby Fischer of sports psychology.
Who's Bobby Fischer?
No one you need to think about. It's a shitty example. You've ever been at any kind of mental coach or psychologist?
Okay, people, so let's ask the question. Who is Bobby Fischer? Bobby Fischer is Leonard Nimoy. All right, all you chess people, lovers of the game of chess, go ahead. Send me your comments and tell me I don't know anything about playing the game of chess. But I do know something about the ones who play the game of hoaxing and lying to us. So I'd like to thank you for watching my video on Bobby Fischer. End of video. Hey, I'm borrowing from Professor Dave Explains.
He knows a lot about kinds of stuff, Professor Dave Explains.
Rutherford B. Hayes oversaw the end of Reconstruction, began the efforts that led to civil service reform, and attempted to reconcile the divisions left over from the Civil War.
And he also was a fraud!
In some of these points, he was modestly successful, but in others, he was a disaster. His ending of Reconstruction in the South reversed the social and political gains made by African Americans in the years immediately after the Civil War, leading to another century of racial subjugation.
All right, enough. Who is Rutherford B. Hayes? Well, let's find out who is this dude?
Mark Twain really is one of the most incredible and influential writers in American literature, and his influence is still very much palpable in writing today.
Called by many the father of American literature, Mark Twain was born Samuel Langhorne Clemens on November 30th, 1835, in Missouri.
When Samuel was 12, his father died of pneumonia. At the age of 15, he got a job working for his brother Orion's newspaper, the Hannibal Western Union.
Mark Twain became a cub pilot on a steamboat on the Mississippi River. He later became a full-fledged pilot, and he thought it was the best time of his life. But in 1861, when the Civil War broke out, the steamboat trade absolutely came to an end, and he was out of a job.
Twain very briefly served in the Confederate military. That did not work out, so he then headed west with his brother. He eventually made his way to San Francisco and really began his career again in the...
They forgot to tell you he was wounded. I think 5 times in the Civil War. Yeah, he was wounded. In the war that never really happened except on paper and film, and Boy Scouts trooping around the United States with drills and fakery. The Civil War was a hoax.
Twain's first big literary break came in 1865 with the publication of Jim Smiley and His Jumping Frog.
It was a huge success and was printed and reprinted all over the country. His first bestseller was Innocents Abroad, which was published in 1869, and it's still very much one of the most successful and widely renowned travel narratives of American literature.
Mark Twain's best-known and best-loved books, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, published in 1876, and Huckleberry Finn, published in 1885, are probably the reason that Ernest Hemingway famously said in 1935 that all American literature comes from Mark Twain.
Huck Finn shows the possibility of making genuine moral changes in a world that's dominated by racism and other forms of human folly. It also is a book that...
Okay, so we know a lot about Huckleberry Finn, Tom Sawyer, and all that stuff. There's a channel where I think it's called Weird History. The gentleman brings out the point that he also wrote some books that were considered very pornographic. 1601, I believe, is the title of the book. And there's a different side to this one that we call Mark Twain or Samuel Clemens. And there's some weird things about him, such as the boat that he was on and then his brother died. Supposedly he had a vision of his brother dying in an accident. Weird stuff. Why was there weird stuff behind the scenes? Well, it's because he was a high-ranking Mason and he was at the top of the cabal system. So we got to go to the Pictrive for a little bit of help. And I'll have to get my lights on here so that you can see my tags that I put on these. Alrighty, so we've got Rutherford over here on the right and Samuel Clemens over here on the left. Rutherford B. Hayes is Samuel Clemens. Mark Twain is just another care actor playing the role of President of the United States. It's that simple. All presidents have been fake. All. I don't care whoever you think was your favorite. Your favorite was a fake too. Okay, so Rutherford B. Hayes over here on the right and Samuel Clemens on the left. As you can see, I don't do my videos in a professional studio. 84%, 69%, 81%. So, you've been duped. I've been duped. The American people have been duped. We've been duped from day one. It's all phony. Everything that you think is so good about the American so-called democratic system is phony. Now I hope this serves as a real, like a taser to the mind, to shock you, because it's all baloney. All of it. Samuel Clemens, or Mark Twain, may have been an average author, and behind the average author was a team that created a big name. I can't prove this to you, but usually it is the case that they are just figureheads. They are just actors playing the role. And here we have actual documentation right in front of you that Samuel Clemens, Mark Twain, is Rutherford B. Hayes. Well, once again, it's another wrap. I'd like to thank you for watching this video. End of video. Hey, I'm just going to ask a question here, but before I ask the question and show you the individual, I want to remind you that in previous videos, I have clearly shown that all big-time media preachers are fakes. And I don't say that lightly because I've had a lot of so-called, quote, respect. But I think I identified Billy Graham, his origins, crazy ones like Tony Evans is really Steve Harvey, who is really Richard Pryor. David Jeremiah, who's really Alan Alda of MASH fame. And then you've got shenanigans like Franklin Graham will play Senator Bill Cassidy. Now I also identified Lloyd Ogilvie. That's Lloyd Ogilvie is Bob Barker. Okay? And I could go on. Now the channel where I try to take these identifications and hold them up to you is called Who is Who in Hoaxology. So if you want to look at some of those identifications, I'm reserving that channel for simply identifying individuals. So I'm going to play this and I'm going to stop it because I want you to see someone and I want to try to identify that someone for you. Who he plays in the field of mega church television evangelist. Okay, here he comes. Over there in the corner. I'm going to put on slow. Now I can't say for certain because I don't have a name on this actor, but it really looks to me like that's Benny Hinn. The height, the hair, the face, everything. Benny Hinn. Am I right? I'm not sure. I don't have the name for this particular actor in this movie. But as I said, I've clearly identified so many major figures in mega religion, mass media religion. And it wouldn't surprise me that this is Benny Hinn. Now I don't know, I don't have a name, I can't put it through the Pictrive, and I'll show you the movie that I've been using for my videos here. You can look it up, maybe you can find it and help me and see. So this is just an exploration, is that Benny Hinn? And there's the movie. If it is, Benny Hinn, you're busted. You can't knock anybody down in this movie, because you're one of the bad guys. Put it on slow motion for you. Is that Benny Hinn? You tell me. I could be wrong, but it's getting to the point where I can pick up on these character actors, sometimes almost just by eyesight. Well, if you have a thought or a view, please let me know. Is that Benny Hinn? Thank you for watching. Hey, I just posted a video on the Manchurian Candidate, and upon watching that film, I thought I recognized someone in the film, and I'm going to present a case to you about who I think I spotted in the film. So this is a website that shows you the different actors that were in the original film in 1962, and I'm not interested in the stars, I'm interested in some of the lesser ones that were in the role. So we're going to scroll down here, and I'm going to take you past the major ones that everybody knows about. I'm going to take you down to a more obscure actor that appeared in the film, who I think is someone that played a big vital role in hoax history as given to us. Okay, I'm going to zero in on him. Reggie Nowder. And those of you that are familiar with hoax history, maybe you can take a look at him and see if you can see what I saw. And I'm not sure that you'll totally agree with this, but I'm going to go ahead with it anyhow. Doesn't matter. I'm only here to present some evidence and some possibilities for reconstructing hoax history.
Okay, now this actor here, this Reggie Nalder, we're going to click on his page there, but I want you to look at him. I want you to recall your war hoax history. Who do you think that possibly could be? So here's different roles that he's played. Reggie Nalder. And we're going to look at his bio here for just a minute. Okay, he was born on the 4th of September 1911 and died November the 19th, 1991. So in 1938, if you do your math correctly, he would be about 27 years of age. And where is he from? Austria, Hungary. Take a close look at him. Okay, he starred in different movies, starting in 1951 here, Adventures of Captain Fabian, Betrayed. This one is Bird with a Crystal Plumage. I guess one of his big roles was in The Man Who Knew Too Much. And he's used to playing villains. He's used to putting on a lot of makeup and stuff to play monsters. And of course, here he is. This is a photo taken from The Manchurian Candidate. In that scene where the soldiers think they're imagining that they're in the garden club, but they're really among the communists, the Chinese and the Soviets. He plays one of the ones up there in the viewing booth. They're observing the Korean soldiers. It was in that video I made. Okay, now here he is in Mark of the Devil. And here he is playing a monster in Salem's Lot. And another one in Spiral Road. And another monster type character in Hound of Dracula. Zoltan, Hound of Dracula. And then a bunch of other ones. And here he was in a Star Trek episode, the original series in 1967. Journey to Babel. Okay? Now I don't know if you have any thoughts about who you think he might be, but it was this, the camera panning him and zeroing in on his face, that made me think of him possibly being someone in hoax history. So I'm going to present a case that he actually is. The case is a little bit weak, but I'm going to present it anyhow, because I think it probably really is true. This meter would not be completely accurate for a number of reasons. Number one would be the age differential. Number two is a lot of times in films or even in public they have makeup and a little bit extra like plastic on their face, whatever. But on the left here is Joseph Goebbels. Joseph Goebbels, Nazi propagandist. And on the right is the actor Reggie Nalder. Again, this man here, the actor, would have been 27 years of age in 1938. That would put him just about the age of this individual here, which is Joseph Goebbels. And where was he from? Austria, Hungary. So you can do with it as you want. I'm going to make a case for it that Joseph Goebbels on the left here was played by this gentleman on the right here, known as Reggie Nalder, N-A-L-D-E-R. There's a lot of pictures of Goebbels, and you can almost see the striking similarity when you look at these pictures. And if you project Nalder back to about age 27, there wouldn't be that many photos of him that young, because he doesn't really enter the picture industry here, I guess in America, until about 1951. So after the war years, he would need a job because he played Goebbels. He would need an income, all right? So, and the other, I mean, the things that really make me think I'm absolutely right on this is because he, Mr. Goebbels here, the actor that played him, is from Austria-Hungary, and his age fits in perfectly. Again, he was born in 1911, so Reggie Nalder would have been 27 in 1938, just about the time the Hitler hoax is in full swing. Okay, so there's Reggie Nalder. The one that really struck me was this one right here. When I saw him up in that balcony, I said, by gosh, I think that's Goebbels. And the meter, the picture meter, gives you a 55% accuracy. And again, the one on the left would be the Goebbels, probably in about 1938 or something of that nature on the left. And on the right, Nalder would be much older here. Okay, this is Nalder over here, and this is Goebbels. But you still get a 55%. All right, so I'm going to make a case that Reggie Nalder played Joseph Goebbels. Thank you for watching. Hey, I'm on my channel Real, R-E-A-L, or Real, R-E-E-L. Some of you may know that I have several channels out there, and there's one video I wanted to try to put on all my channels.
The channel no longer exists. I took it off the market. I had too many channels and too many videos.
That eventually got blocked. And it's this one down here. Alice has a stern look about her. So if you look over here, you'll see that it got blocked on copyright claim. Now in some channels I had it, I got some pretty good views until they blocked it, but here they didn't let it go too far and they blocked it. Now I sometimes wonder if the reason they block things is because of the truth rather than the copyright. So I'm going to try my best to bring this video up and take the sound off of it and see what happens.
People.
Okay, there's the video, and there's Howard Stern. So Alice has a stern look on her face. Okay, Howard Stern. Now, who really is Howard Stern? Well, we'll find out here in just a minute. Be patient. I'm trying to re-show my video in such a way that it can be aired. So here we go to another video that I included in the video that originally was blocked, and we're going to meet a very young Alice Cooper. Very young. So Alice Cooper always was kind of a shock therapy type, not therapy, shock you type individual. And I'm showing you now in the picture I have comparing the two with Stern, I believe on the left, and Cooper on the right, getting about a 72%. Now going way up again, 66%, 84%. Okay, with Stern on the left, Cooper on the right, 81%. So I believe I kept the variable of Stern on the left. In other words, consistently shown. That's Cooper there. I consistently had Stern on the left and Cooper on the right. There's your Stern. And once again, back to the picture I have, putting the two together, showing you some really good percentages that make it very obvious that Howard Stern was played by Alice Cooper. Shock, people. Shock presentation. So you had shock rock to shock presentations as Howard Stern. From shock rock is Alice Cooper to shock people with anything, vulgarity, nudity, you name it. Oh, that's what was taken down, but I'm hoping to put it back up. Again, Alice has a stern look about her. The stern face of Alice Cooper, because Alice Cooper is Howard Stern. Thank you for watching. End of video. And now, here's Sonny. Wait a minute, did you make a mistake? Well, let's see. Hold on. Wait a minute, check this out.
Our own Doc Severinsen tomorrow night, March 6th, and Saturday, March 7th, will be appearing with the Long Beach Symphony Orchestra at the Terrace Theater in Long Beach, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Doc Severinsen.
I wonder who Doc Severinsen really is. Doc Severinsen. Here's Sonny. So let's meet the real Doc Severinsen. R-E-A-L. Well, it just depends on how you look at this. Who's pulling who and who's playing what line and so forth. So on the left is Doc Severinsen. On the right is Sonny Bono. Now we're going to keep the Severinsen photo consistent there on the left, but you can see a really high match, 84%. So we're going to go another one. Severinsen on the left, Bono on the right, 66%. Decent, decent. All right, let's change Severinsen on the left. An older Severinsen, and it looks like a younger Bono, 78%. Now let's stay with the same Severinsen on the left, and a different Bono on the right, 69%. 69%. So let's just take a look now at Wikipedia, and you can see in Wikipedia that we have Sonny on a ladder, and usually ladders are reference to Jacob's ladder, which is the bridge between heaven and earth, and not necessarily contacting the good angels, but the bad angels, the fallen angels, in the realm of the second heaven. Okay, there's an older picture of him, and this younger picture, supposedly that's his daughter, but most likely that's the couple that later becomes Sonny and Cher. Okay, that's Severinsen's photos right there, okay? Now let's go to Sonny's photos. Whoop. There's Sonny Bono, and on the left there you'll see the Sonny Cher act. Got into politics, supposedly got killed in a skiing accident where he skied right into a tree. Down in the corner there, looks a lot like that other photo I showed you of his team. You know, I want to take you back to kind of another thing that sealed the deal for me. And I know a lot of people say, well, this doesn't really necessarily prove it. Well, that's okay by me, because really and truly, I'm not trying to prove anything to anyone. I'm just showing you what I've discovered, and if you don't like it, or you don't believe it, or you don't agree with it, that's okay with me. All right, so I asked myself the question, how tall was Sonny Bono? 5 feet 11 inches. How tall was Doc Severinsen? You guessed it, 5'11". So I'm going to take you back to the Johnny Carson show, the Doc Severinsen. There, zero in on his face. Then I'm just going to show you a clip of a Sonny Bono life. Whoops. Whoops, sorry about that. There we go. All right, I found it. Okay, that's Sonny Bono. That's a video someone did on the life and death of Sonny Bono. You can almost just see the bone structure and everything pretty identical. They may have put a little bit of a nose piece on Sonny Bono. And unfortunately I can't get this dude in this little clip to do some smiling, to see the teeth. But another thing that I tend to notice is the way that people wear their hair and what they like or don't like. And Severinsen likes to sort of cover his ears and everything with his hair, and I've noticed that about the Sonny Bono too.
The life and sad ending of Sonny Bono. Salvatore Bono was born Salvatore Philip Sonny Bono on February 16, 1935, to an impoverished family of Sicilian immigrants in Detroit. Sonny Bono, as he came to be known.
Okay, when you look at Sonny Bono, you're also looking at Doc Severinsen. So, here's Sonny. Thank you for watching. End of video. Who is this one that's called Walter Cronkite? Chronos in the Greek means time, and kite, well, that refers to something I don't wish to explain at the moment. Father Time, Walter Cronkite, or as he used to advertise himself as the most trusted name in news. And I did a video called the most busted name in news. So anyhow, it is Walter Cronkite. We'll go to the pic try if.
If I can get my speaker to stick. Cronkite on the left, McLuhan on the right. 75% match. Same picture of Cronkite on the left, McLuhan on the right. 75%, 78%, 78%. Now notice the photograph of McLuhan is different. The constant is Cronkite, so I'm going to do it again. There's 78%, same Cronkite on the left, different McLuhan on the right. So there you have it. Walter Kronos Kite is none other than Marshall McLuhan. Thank you for watching. You will be watching an episode from The Lucy Show where Lucy meets John Wayne.
Hi. Oh, I recognize him. That's Richard Chamberlain. No, that's a studio doctor. Oh, really? Who was that, the janitor? That was Milton Berle. Milton Berle? Oh, for heaven's sake, what do I tell the girls? I nearly saw Milton Berle. Really, Milton Berle? Listen, honey. Oh, you have to order. You're going to be late getting back to work. Oh, I don't care if I am late getting back to work. I'm still so mad at Mr. Mooney for insisting that I leave those contracts with the receptionist. You think a man would understand how much a woman would like to meet John Wayne personally? Yes, you certainly would. You know John Wayne? Not personally. Well, then I think I'll introduce you. Do you know him? No, but I will when I get him these contracts. Lucy, I thought you gave those to the receptionist. Not on your life. You think I was going to give up a chance like this? I'm going to give these to Mr. Wayne personally. Now, do you think he'll be in here for lunch? Well, he usually is, but sometimes he has lunch in his dressing room. Oh, really? Hi, Joy. Hi, Joy. Hey, Joy. Yeah. You know where Mr. Wayne is? No, I don't. Anything I can do? Well, my friend's looking for him. Oh, yes, I work in the bank, and I have some very important contracts for Mr. Wayne. Oh, yes, we've been expecting those. Thank you so much. The receptionist. The receptionist. Oh, no. You didn't know him. I don't. Well, he said hello to you. Well, he said hello to everybody. He called you honey. He doesn't know my name. Gee, that's even better than a name. Oh, if he ever called me honey, wow. Very friendly. Is he? Oh, he's so nice. James, you want to know the phone? Here's your usual, Mr. Wayne.
Thank you. Oh, bring me some ketchup.
Right. There you are, sir.
Thank you.
Anything else I can get for you, sir?
No, I'm fine.
Howdy. I'm Lucy Carmichael.
Oh, well, I'm John Wayne.
Oh, I know you are. Oh, it's nice meeting you, Mr. Wayne. I work at the bank, and I brought some contracts over here for you today.
Well, thank you.
I thought about bringing them to you in person, but I realized that you're a very busy man, and I didn't want to bother you.
Well, I'm never that busy.
Yeah, well, whether you're busy or not, I just thought there's no reason for people to bother you, and that's why I left the contracts outside with the receptionist, so I wouldn't bother you.
Well, that's very considerate.
It must be very bothersome. People bother you all the time, like when they ask you for your autograph and everything.
Well, I never considered that a bother.
Oh, can I have your autograph?
Of course.
Thank you.
Did you bring a piece of paper?
No. Oh, I didn't want to bother you, but could you maybe put it on the back of this?
Well, this is a page on.
Okay, this is what I want you to notice. And it's going to go by very quickly, and I'm going to maybe reverse it for you so you can watch it very slowly. How Mr. John Wayne signs things.
Script.
Oh, I would love to have a page out of your script. I would.
Okay, now look, he's got his left hand down and his right hand down, and look how he holds a pen. I'll try to let it go by and then bring it back and show it to you again.
That. Would you care for something?
Well, would you like something?
Well, just a cup of coffee if it's no bother. Now then, just...
Okay. Left hand down holding the paper, and the right hand down, and it makes it like a right angle between the left hand and the right hand. Okay, I'll play it in slow motion. Leaning his head forward a little bit. Now I've been able to see this. Maybe I'm being a little too picky on this, but anyhow, little things like this confirm to me the observations I make.
Dear friend, Lucy?
Carmichael, Carmichael. I always spell it for people because sometimes they spell it E-A-L, and we have the Scotch clan spelling A-E-L. Maiden name used to be McGillicuddy. That's how Scotch I am.
Hey, that's a little bit of a clue too. The Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. Lucy, code name for Lucifer, and most likely Lucy is actually a man. Carol Burnett is actually a man, and on one of my channels I show you where Carol Burnett kind of lets go and takes off the costume and proves to the world that Carol Burnett was a man. And so Lucy most likely is a man too.
Let's see, who I enjoyed having lunch with in person. I mean you in person, not me. Who I enjoyed having lunch with in person. Together, today, alone. Together, dash, today, dash, alone.
Together.
Today, alone.
Alone.
Yeah, now you just put the date down there in the corner.
The date?
Yeah, when I get back to the bank, I'm going to have it notarized.
Notarized?
Yeah, well, they'll never believe this back home. Thank you
So I'm going to take it in reverse.
so much. Oh.
Try to go back over it again. At the initial part where he's signing. Please be patient with me. It's in reverse. Okay, that's reverse. Now I'll put it in forward. Okay, now that left hand comes down and secures the paper. See? Secures the paper, leans on it like. And then the right hand, look at how he's holding the pen. Play it in slow motion. Sorry that it's kind of blurry for you. Notice how he drops his head. You see how the pen comes way up high like that? But that left hand makes a stable paper, and then the right hand comes down and forms like a right angle. So why did I do this? Well, let me play it again a little bit here for you. We're going to get to something here in a minute. Hang in there with me. Those of you who are patient with me, I want you to know I appreciate it very much.
Michael.
Bill, my dear friend, Lucy?
Carmichael.
Okay, now we're going to jump to something else, and that is LBJ signing something.
To freedom, a more constant pursuit of justice, and a deeper respect for human dignity. We will achieve these goals because most Americans are law-abiding citizens who want to do what is right. My fellow citizens, we have come now to a time of testing. We must not fail. Let us close the springs of racial poison. Let us pray for wise and understanding hearts. Let us lay aside irrelevant differences and make our nation whole. Let us hasten that day when our unmeasured strength and our unbounded spirit will be free to do the great works ordained for this nation by the just and wise God, who is the Father of us all. Thank you and good night.
Okay, get ready to watch the signing. How he secures the paper with the left hand. See how that left hand secures it, and the right hand comes in and almost just forms a right angle to it. That's LBJ. Signing. That, by the way, that's not Hubert Humphrey, that's Bob Hope. Bob Hope in costume with a little bit of prosthetics on, not Hubert Humphrey. This is a Civil Rights Act being signed. I was going to give one to Sidney Poitier, who just recently passed, which is actually Martin Luther King, Sidney Poitier, John Wayne, and then of course the other one I can identify is Bob Hope, Hubert Humphrey. Okay, now I'm going to take you to another video I did showing John Wayne is LBJ.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. John Wayne. You sure do so horse well. I can't tell you how glad to have you on the show. Well, I can't tell you how glad I am to be here. Me? Yeah? I sure want to thank you for getting me such a good horse. That ain't no ordinary horse, pal. They'll say that horse was a secret before that white knight went by. Western right now with Kirk Douglas, and I sure wish you were with us. No, I gotta give up Western. It's too hard to read the cue cards when I'm galloping along. Don't give me that, Dave. We played 2 Westerns together, and you never missed a line. Don't let this get out, pal, but I was writing Mr. Head, and he never missed a line. Of all the pictures you've ever made, what's your favorite? Well, one I had taken last week with Marisa, my 8-month-old daughter. Well, that's nice, Carl. You know, I think it's swell you having all those kids, and especially now having a new little baby. I'm proud of you, too. Well, I'm proud of you, too, Dean. You know, you've got 7. You haven't exactly been sitting around staring at walls, either. Duke, everybody, you know, is a love you. Let me ask you something. They all want to know. Here you are, one of the biggest stars in the whole world, been making pictures for 37 years, got a spanking new daughter. Now, what do you want for her? Well, same as any parent wants, I guess. I'd just like to stick around long enough to see she gets started right. I'd like her to know some of the values that we knew as kids. Some of those values that too many people these days are thinking are old-fashioned. Most of all, I want her to be grateful as I am every day of my life to live in these United States. I know it may sound a little corny, but the first thing my daughter's learning from me is the Lord's Prayer. Some of the song. And I really don't care if she ever memorizes the Gettysburg Address, just so long as she understands it. And since little girls are seldom called upon to defend their country, she may never have to raise her hand for that oath. But I certainly want her to respect all those who do. I guess that's it.
What? Did you see it? Pinocchio! Go backwards. Look at that swipe on the nose. He drops his head and wants a snicker because he knows he's a liar. The actor known as John Wayne is a liar. That's why he brushed his nose. That's the Pinocchio sign. See it again.
I guess that's it.
Did you see it? Backwards. Pinocchio, I am lying to you about everything I just said about America. I know it sounds corny. Of course it sounds corny because he knows who he's playing in Hoax history.
That's about what I want for my daughter, Dean. I'm proud to know you do.
Well, it's all just a show. What do you mean? Well, guess who you just saw? Oh, you might not realize this. Do you know who you just saw? You just saw the President of the United States make a little speech. Oh, yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm. LBJ on your left, John Wayne on your right. LBJ on your left, John Wayne on your right. Lyndon Baines Johnson, President of the United States, was played by John Wayne. That's right. John Wayne is a liar, and so is Lyndon Baines Johnson. Why? Because they're of the father of lies. Don't believe any of the characters. They're put in front of you in what you believe is real history, R-E-A-L. It's actually R-E-E-L. Film reels, photographic rolls of film, digital pictures. Lyndon Baines Johnson was played by the Duke, John Wayne. That's right. You can even see it in their years that they're here on Earth. LBJ, born 1908, died 1973. So the president, the so-called president, will die a little bit sooner than
John Wayne. John Wayne, born 1907, died 1979. It fits perfectly, absolutely perfectly. And if you look at the body build, the body mass, it's identical. The body mass of John Wayne fits right in with the body mass of Lyndon Johnson. So once again, you just see nonsense all the time. That's all that's ever presented to you is nonsense. LBJ on the left, John Wayne on the right. You can't trust anything that's given to you as actual history. Our minds have been so confused because we've been told a bunch of lies by liars who run things secretly behind our backs and do things that we're not aware of and play games with our minds. But I want to tell you about someone who doesn't play games with your mind. It's the Lord Jesus. And if you take the Lord Jesus into your life and ask for the mind of Christ, the mind of Christ will help you to get through all of this nonsense in this world. So once again, I'd like to thank you for watching, and I do appreciate your support and your viewership. End the video.
Okay, I'm going to end this segment, and just to remind you what you've been watching. You've been watching from my channel, Who is Who in Hoaxology. And the date today is May 17th, 2023. Thank you for watching. End of video.